To begin this conversation, I guess I should address the nature of reality. I've been talking with Osama bin Laden secretly for decades. I don't use email or post office or, he's never heard of me, but there's a different kind of reality, one that people don't like to address. I'm comic book shaman, and I'm doing what shamans do sometimes. I'm talking to the dead. Of course, Osama bin Laden can't speak back, so I'm going to have to hold up both ends of the conversation. My apologies to those who will be upset that I would presume to do so much, but I feel I have the right because I guess Americans feel like they have the right to do any darn thing they want. And, apparently other people around the world feel the same way. I guess it's all a matter of the present reality and what they're capable of doing without being slapped down. Right, Osama? Yeah, I thought you'd agree. How did you become an individual, Osama? You were born? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were privileged? Yeah. People say all Americans are privileged, and I guess we are. It's a scale, right? It's hardly worth mentioning, but I guess, you want to explain it, Osama? Okay, I will. There's a scale to everything. It's always this. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent. That's it. The scale is there for everything. You have to apply it. Everything you hear, every person you meet, every action you take, every piece of media you consume, everything you hear from the pulpit, you hear from the television, that you read on the internet. You have to have that scale. You have to look at it and say, good, bad, or indifferent. Sometimes we forget. If someone's in authority, we think they tell us things, and we have to say, that's good. But you don't. Some things are indifferent and some things are bad. What's that? Yeah. You're right, Osama. There's two sides to every coin. Wouldn't you say? Yeah, I agree. One axiom that I've always observed is that if a thing is true, its opposite must also be true. This may seem paradoxical at first, and, that's because it's a paradox. Oh, yeah, Osama, you're a card. There's man, woman. They're the same, but, they're not the same. But, you think, there's a big thing in this country for the last 50 years or whatever, women's rights, and equality of women. That's fine. Women certainly should not be oppressed. But I think that when you start saying something that isn't true, that men and women are equal, you're starting with a fallacy, and then you're building on top of that foundation of sand. So why do we do what we do, Osama? Why did you do what you did? For love. I see. Yes. Love is the great motivator. We do what we do for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes they are abstract from the reality of our intentions, but we feel that we have to carry on with what we're doing because we see no alternative, But there is always an alternative that we don't really think about and we don't turn to, but it's compassion. What's that, Osama? Are you laughing? Compassion. For the weak. Yes, we're all weak. That's why we need to have compassion. Because once you are through stepping on the weak, there's going to be nothing but strong people left, and they're going to step on you. We rush to judgment. We say, this is the thing, or that's the thing. But truth is fleeting. Wouldn't you say? What's that? Yes, Osama, you're right. There are two kinds of truth. There's truth for now, and there's truth for all time. And they are two different things. Yes, they are. And the problem is knowing which is which. Yeah. Did you see that? Yeah. All this elementary stuff is covered in the book, More on Civil Disobedience. So we don't need to dwell too much on it here. The thing, when Americans, or I think, people around the world, they study their own faith, their own religion, whatever it might be, and they don't really know very much about other people's religions. Like the thing that we Americans know is with the Muslim, when they go to war and they get killed, they get in paradise with 40 virgins. That's a cultural paradox there. And I think it's so funny every time I hear it, that these guys are going, yeah, I'm going to kill myself, and then I'm going to have 40 virgins in heaven, in paradise. But let me tell you, 40 virgins is no paradise. I've had 39 myself. But it's the misunderstanding of basic concepts of metaphor that all holy books apply. The Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the whatever, the Vedas, any holy scriptures I've read, they all have one thing in common. They're expressing truth. And they're expressing. Don't get mad, Osama. I know this pisses you off every time we talk about it, but I just got to say it. These books, they all express two kinds of truth. There's the truth for the people who are reading it now, and then there's the truth that goes on forever. And it's like the Bible, the Quran. They're all the same. They're maps. They're not destinations. I like to say the Bible's a children's book for all God's children. One of the things that I think is really sharp about Islam is the prayer. That you pray, so many times a day. A lot of people, especially in this country, they scoff at prayer, or they're disappointed with prayer. They don't understand, that prayer is not to get a pony. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. You wanted that? Oh, yeah. No. Prayer is for you. Because you have to know. We're all the center of our own universe. You are? Well, you were. Bang. We're the center of our own universe. But we need God for there to be something above us. Allah, whatever name you want to call it, or him or her. It doesn't matter, because the thing about God is that it's unknowable, We can write metaphors and books and thoughts and anything, and we say, this is what God means, but, anything that is of this nature is coming from men, And then you can say, oh, well, they were inspired by God, Well, yeah, but the guy was inspired to change my oil in the car, too, It's just a matter of degree. The truth that matters is the truth that you see is right, And if you look at it and you see that it's right and you put the scale on it, you can tell. People have all sorts of different agendas. Every prelate, every holy man, every nun, everybody has, their own angle. And you can't know whether it's right. You have to be able to make decisions. The question of women, it's It's right. People say no, women are not equal, and no, they're not. But what women are, and that everyone is, the concept of human equivalence. I have a friend who's a science teacher, and I called him up. I was trying to get some insight on this thought, and I said, what's the difference between equal and equivalent? He thought about it, and he said, well, it's the same, something's equal and something's equivalent, And I thought, well, gee, I thought a science teacher would have some deep perspective, but, it's not always, it's the essence of life that I'm talking about here. It's fine distinctions. And I'll give you an example of how equal is not equivalent. You could have a room, with perfectly set walls, and you look at the corner and they meet and it's 90 degrees. And then you have a pizza box and it's 90 degrees. And you take that pizza box and you put it in the corner and it fits perfectly, And the angles are equal, but the box and the wall are only equivalent. They're not equal. The wall is not a box and the box is not a wall. I give these little lectures. Oh, you do too? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shine the shoes. Yeah. They couldn't understand. Okay. Yeah. It's the same thing. You try to get a point across. And people cannot understand. If things are like if they're almost the same. Well, what the hell? They're just the same. That's where excellence lies. I don't know. I don't want to put too fine a point on this, other than to let people know that there is something. If you're a woman and you feel oppressed, and you're thinking to yourself, I am equal to any man, you're doing yourself a great disservice. Because in 90% of all aspects of life, women are far superior to men. That's true. And men, left to their own, would never get anywhere, really. They'd be sitting there with their calculator, or their slide rule, or, reading the paper for the sports scores. They'd never get anything done if it wasn't for the woman. We complement one another. We are an animal necessity that we must come together. And, people feel like they want to have things to be the best, that you want to have an optimal situation. And there's a real fallacy, right? Yeah. Tell me about your experience. Oh, yeah, you don't pick up on the mic. Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, it's like, you think you want, what's perfect. You want to wait until you've got all three of your jets, taken off, and then you're going to hit, all three of your targets. But then, something that you didn't plan on happens, and, one of the plane crashes, and you think, oh, call it off, we can't do it today. No, you send the other two right to their destination. I understand that a lot, Osama, you could have hit Disney World, but, whatever. There's two of them, right, But, and there's one even in Europe, and I think that maybe if you had thought that through, well, wait a minute, I'm going to piss people off here, but I probably have copyright problems with that corporation. You do? You've got one of the shirts? Cool. Let's talk about beliefs. Let's go back to the women, because it's always about women, isn't it? Yeah, I understand that you don't want anybody to look at your women because they'll want to take them. It comes back again to that 40 virgin thing. I think you're missing. You've got a crucial misunderstanding of the value of 40 virgins. You're thinking on an animal level that you're going to be able to pass your genes to these 40 women. But that's not. I don't think that's what it's about.
Listen to your woman, but not closely.